Once again, good morning. It's so nice to see all of you here after Thanksgiving. One Sunday, a pastor told the congregation that the church needed some extra money and asked the people to prayerfully consider giving a little extra in the offering plate. He said that whoever gave the most would be able to pick out 3 hymns. After the offering plates were passed, the pastor glanced down and noticed that someone had placed a $1,000 bill in the offering plate. He was so excited, he immediately shared his joy with his congregation and said he'd like to personally thank the person who placed the money in the plate. A very quiet, elderly, saintly lady all the way in the back shyly raised her hand. The pastor asked her to come to the front. Slowly, she made her way to the pastor. He told her how wonderful it was that she gave so much, and in gratitude asked her to pick out 3 hymns. Her eyes brightened as she looked out over the congregation and pointed to the 3 handsomest men. And she said, "I'll take him, him, and him." I know this month a lot has been said about gratitude. We have just celebrated Thanksgiving as tradition a few days ago. But has Thanksgiving really seeped into our consciousness on a day-to-day, moment-by-moment basis? Well, I'd like to add my 2 cents. Gratitude derives from the Latin word gratus, which means pleasing, thankful. Ask yourself, do you have an attitude of gratitude or a sense of entitlement? Ernest Holmes says, when we speak the words of thanksgiving to God within, knowing before they ask, I will answer. There is something in this attitude of thanksgiving that carries beyond the field of doubt into one of perfect faith and acceptance, receptivity, and realization. Appreciation and gratitude and thanksgiving is the power which attracts and magnifies the hidden potentialities of life. Studies show that people who often practice gratitude by taking time to notice and reflect upon the things that they're thankful for experience more positive emotions, feel more alive, sleep better, express more compassion and kindness, and even have stronger immune systems. How do we reap the benefits of gratitude? One way is to notice that the things around you every day that you can be grateful for. The first thing I do upon awakening in the morning is say, thank you. Because when I wake up and don't see yellow tape around me, I know I have another day to be present in the world. When we open our eyes to more of the world around us, we can enhance our gratitude practice. Be excited and enthusiastic about your newfound gratitude. The feeling of appreciation is magical. The more you're grateful for, the more it increases. Here's an example. One experiment found that customers of a jewelry store who were called and thanked showed a 70% increase in purchases. In comparison, customers who were called and told about a sale showed 30% increase in purchases. And customers who were not called at all did not see any increase in their purchases. Gratitude is a spiritual quality that is felt at the level of the soul. Another example, from a study. Regular patrons of a restaurant gave bigger tips when the servers wrote "thank you" on their checks. Gratitude is one of the most common emotions that religions seek to provoke and maintain. It is a prized element of Christian, Buddhist, Muslim, Jewish, and Hindu traditions. In Judaism, gratitude is an essential part of the act of worship and part of every aspect of the worshiper's life. The Hebrew scriptures are filled with the idea of gratitude. Martin Luther referred to gratitude as the basic Christian attitude, and today it is still referred to as the heart of gospel. Christians strongly are encouraged to praise and give thanks to their Creator. The Islamic sacred text, the Quran, is filled with the idea of gratitude. Islam encourages its followers to be grateful and express thanks to Allah in all circumstances. Islamic teaching emphasizes the idea that those who are grateful will be rewarded more. To quote Buddha, a noble person is mindful and thankful for the favors he receives from others. Every Hindu festival is about counting one's blessings and thanking God for them. Gratitude is exalted as one of the most important virtues in many Hindu texts. I think we all want to enjoy more love, happiness, peace, and joy in our lives. An attitude of gratitude moves our consciousness to appreciation. When we develop this spiritual practice for all things, big or small, a shift occurs. What we focus on grows. And when we focus on how grateful we are for the love, the happiness, the peace, the joy, and the abundance we already have in our lives, we send a message to the universe. More of this, please. Eckhart Tolle teaches us that the deeper practice of gratitude goes beyond the words "thank you." The true meaning of gratitude lies in the appreciation of small things in life. He also says acknowledging the good you already have in your life is the foundation for all abundance. Sometimes it feels challenging to feel grateful when we are grieving or we are hurt. If we've experienced a seeming loss, a failed relationship, loss of a job, or a health challenge, we have opportunity in this to dig deep, to look within and understand the gifts that these challenges present. I recently read in the Huffington Post about Marquise Goodwin, who plays football with the San Francisco 49ers. The day of the game with the New York Giants, he revealed that his wife, Morgan, lost their baby boy due to some complications. His wife gave birth to their son prematurely after a very difficult pregnancy. Marquise said, and I quote, "Although we are hurt, I am grateful for the experience and grateful that God blessed me with a wife as courageous and resilient as Morgan." Wow. That same day, Goodwin caught a long touchdown pass and they won the game 31-21, a home victory over the New York Giants, and it was the team's first win of the season. Can you also find gratitude in all things? When we step out of fear and worry, we can find the gratitude that is within. When we acknowledge who we truly are, beings of light and energy, we can exude and express more and more of the essence of God as love, as peace, and appreciation in the world. Let's let the God that is within out. When we turn our attention to the Most High, that place of knowing that all is in divine right order, we stop judging things as good or bad. I've had 2 children to make their transitions. One was born still, and my other son lived on this side until he was 31. They were both gifts from God. Even in my grief, I can acknowledge the gifts. I am grateful for the opportunity to experience motherhood. The resourcefulness I gained in raising him for 28 years as a single parent. The joy of having this beautiful soul, which awarded me so many wonderful memories. It was a joy and a blessing to be his mother. I am so grateful for the power that is within me and the consciousness to know that nothing is either good or bad. Only thinking makes it so. Our attitude should be gratitude and thanksgiving and trust, regardless of the obstacles of life or what we call trials of the human experience. Have you ever had a seemingly difficult or seemingly negative experience? And now looking back, you can see the gifts that it presented. You can see the growth. You can see the increased faith that it gave you, the wisdom and the freedom that it afforded you. Have you ever thought that this was like, oh, just so insurmountable? And then when you get past it, you go, wow, I made it through. There's something within you that gives you that strength and that faith and that resilience. Trust that in every circumstance. Here's a few reasons to practice gratitude. 1, grateful people are less likely to avoid problems, deny that there is a problem, or blame themselves. 2, grateful people sleep better at night because they have more positive thoughts just before going to sleep. Number 3, grateful people also have higher levels of control over their environments, personal growth, purposes in life, and self-acceptance. Grateful people have more ways of coping with difficulties they experience in life, being more likely to seek support from others who can help them deal with a problem. Grateful people are happier, less depressed, less stressed, and more satisfied with their lives and social relationships. Gratitude is a part of mindfulness. Every moment of every day is valuable. To quote Thornton Wilder, we can only be said to be truly alive in those moments when our hearts are conscious of our treasures. The smallest things can make all the difference in your life and in others. Here are just a few ways to show your gratitude. Write a thank you note or an email to someone saying thank you. Put a sticky note somewhere random that'll make someone smile. Smile ear to ear to everyone you see. It's contagious. Pay for the person in Starbucks coffee who's behind you. Give an anonymous donation of whatever you can afford. Make a friend a favorite meal. Give genuine compliments to those you hardly know, like a waiter or a bus driver. Donate a week of your life to a good cause once a year. Every day presents opportunity to show gratitude. When you're in the grocery store and you receive help in locating an item, or at the checkout stand after you pay for your groceries, say thank you. When we are dining out and receive our food, or when our server warms our coffee, or when we receive our check, there's opportunity to express gratitude, not entitlement. Remembering that everyone is God, and God is in everyone. no matter what their station is in life. Let's make every effort to recognize the blessings that we have come to take for granted. Let's focus on what we have rather than what we don't have. Let's come from a place of sufficiency, not enoughness. Let us not forget to recognize that money is God in action and a blessing. Let's be grateful for the comfortable homes that we live in and the beauty that surrounds our homes and the clear water that we get to drink, the electricity and the internet. And if you still write out bills, when you pay them, write thank you on the back of the envelope. Be grateful that you have the ability to pay those bills. In contrast to those in Puerto Rico who are still in the dark and still don't have clean water or electricity. Two old friends met on the street one day, and one looked forlorn, almost on the verge of tears. His friend asked, "What has the world done to you, my old friend?" The sad fellow said, "Let me tell you. 3 weeks ago, my uncle died and left me $40,000. Why, that's a lot of money. But you see, 2 weeks ago, a cousin I never met died and left me $80,000, free and clear. Sounds to me you've been blessed." "You don't understand," he interrupted. "Last week, my great aunt passed away. I inherited almost $250,000 from her." Now the friend was really confused. "Then why do you look so grim?" "This week, nothing." We must be careful not to let a sense of entitlement. It can sneak up on us. We need to look at what happens when we receive something on a regular basis, whether it's a pension, a paycheck, Social Security, an inheritance. Let's not forget to recognize that this is a blessing from God and be grateful. In your home, when you're interacting with your spouse, children, or any family member, there is plenty of opportunity to express your appreciation and gratitude. When you're brought a cup of water, a cup of coffee, a cocktail, or any beverage, or someone cooks you a nice meal, runs your errands, drives you around, or forgives you when you're wrong. The more you thank life for, the more life gives you to be thankful for. Let's make every effort to recognize the blessings that flow through people that we have come to take for granted. Gratitude is a spiritual quality. You may notice how you feel when you do something for someone and they don't say thank you. You'll notice that it makes you limit your transactions with them. When a person expresses gratitude, it makes you want to do more and more for that person. Gratitude begets gratitude. It calls out love and appreciation for the appreciation. There's one last thing I want to mention before I go, and that is to be grateful for the fact that you arrived here on the planet, and to give thanks for those who got you here, those who gave birth to you. Even if it was so-called dysfunctional, be thankful for the gifts. Share the love that you may or may not have had. Share the parenting skills that you want to express. Be the example you wish to be in the world. Whether you want to admit it or not, our parents shaped us into whom we are today, even if it is by default. I know it's been said before, but here's another way to create a shift, and that is in keeping a gratitude journal. At the end of each day, write down something you did well or you're grateful for. This is a positive way to focus on the good in our lives, or writing things you appreciate on a little scrap of paper and putting them in a gratitude jar. And from time to time, revisit that jar and look at those little moments. Now that we know that gratitude is a way of being God's light in the world, we must be grateful at all times, no matter what happens. We should not defer or wait to have joy or gratefulness. We should be grateful from moment to moment. There's opportunity to go deep and find the gifts, to step into the fullness of who we truly are at our core. At our core, we are spirit, one with God, connected to all life, here and everywhere. At our core, we know the truth, that we can trust God for our good. And trust is the foundation of faith. Always trust that life will bring us good things. Let us have an attitude of thanksgiving, and let us not let it end with the Thanksgiving dinner that we just celebrated a few days ago and begin again next November. Remember, gratitude speaks to the soul of another. It allows us to celebrate the presence and the God that is within them. If you really want to increase your well-being and prosperity, embrace gratitude. A patient shook his doctor's hand in gratitude and said, "Since we are the best of friends, I wouldn't want to insult you by offering you payment. But I would like for you to know that I have mentioned you in my will." "That's very kind of you," the doctor said emotionally, and then added, "May I see that prescription I just gave you? I'd like to make a few changes." I like to close by quoting Meister Eckhart. He says, if the only prayer you say in your entire life is thank you, that would suffice. Let's make every effort every day to recognize the blessings that we have come to take for granted. Peace and blessings. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Let us pray. Turning our attention inward to the inner sanctuary of the Most High, that place of knowing that we are one with God. There is only one mind, one power, and one presence, and we are it. We are all cut from the same stuff, pure spirit. So we're all the same stuff at the level of the cell and at the level of spirit, expressing in myriad forms, all connected on the seen and unseen side of life. We recognize that we are abundantly blessed. Something woke us up this morning and gave us another opportunity to be about pure spirit's business, loving, sharing our gifts, and being a divine presence in the world. We have a renewed attitude of gratitude and faith that the universe is friendly and is on our side. We are grateful for all things, seemingly big or small, for there is no big or small in God's universe. It is all God. It is all good. And so we refocus on sufficiency, never lack or limitation, because we now know that what we focus on grows and multiplies abundantly. We now let go of any sense of entitlement and replace it with an attitude of gratitude. We bless our families, those who are here and those who are not here, and we are grateful for the time we've just enjoyed with them. We bless all churches, synagogues, temples, mosques, ashrams, all paths to God. We are grateful that the message of gratitude is magnified in each of these paths. We give thanks for this church community and the generosity of everyone who enters these doors. We thank you for supporting this church community. And with a full and grateful heart, I give thanks for these words being spoken into law. And so together we say, Amen.